Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I'm trying. I found these are microphones, wireless microphones that are basically tied into the cell phone. I finally found them. I've had two of these, and I couldn't find them for the longest time. But as I've been going through, getting everything ready for this weekend, I found them. So let me know in the comments if the sound is better. My air conditioning unit, outside unit, is actually running right now. I hear the crickets or cicadas or whatever the hell they are. They're making a whole lot of noise. I don't know if you can hear those things or not. I don't know if you can actually hear me or not. One thing, there's a rumor being spread about me and the crew about something we did or was supposed to do. You might not have heard it, or maybe you had. When I first heard it, all I did was laugh. I used to get angry and all uptight. You can say what you want, just spell my name right. Because all I ever wanted from you was a rock in the house. And that's what the rumor was all about. Okay, anyway. A big mouth, a big mouth. There was a rumor going on Twitter right now that Chase Young had a setback on his knee going to Von Miller's camp, pass rushing camp, and that the team wasn't happy. The person who tweeted it out, the original one, has like 29,000 Twitter followers and says that they're an expert. I've never heard them, but there's so many people on Twitter, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. But it kind of sounded kind of funny because Von Miller's pass rushing camp would have been before training camp that he would have heard it. And I don't know when Von Miller had it, but at that point you had to think that Chase Young was not ready to be at a pass rushing camp because he wasn't anywhere close to being ready. So I think that this is kind of fake news. I don't know. I mean, it could be that he went there trying to get some extra tips and things and all that and messed it up. I know, me personally, when I had the flesh-eating bacteria in my knee, and I had 3 surgeries, okay? 3 surgeries basically to get rid of the infection. And I remember being younger and being like a guy who wanted to work out. And what I was doing when I lived in the townhouse was I was walking the steps from the basement upstairs, and I just kept doing it because I was trying to strengthen the knee. And I slipped on the landing and really planted my leg, and my knee jolted, and it set me back. It set me way back, and it was sharp pain. Now, I don't know if that happened with Chase Young. I don't. It doesn't seem like it did. Now, from what we were hearing about Chase Young was they're hoping that he's on track to return maybe the game number 5 for Washington. We'll see if that happens or not. And we'll see if there's anything more to that rumor. We'll talk about it later. Here's another funny thing about the Washington Commanders. Well, this isn't actually funny, but Bruce Allen, I believe right now, is still talking with the House committee and stuff about the stuff that's been going on with Washington for like the last 10 years or so, doing another deposition late into the night. So that's kind of interesting for Dan Snyder and the Washington Commanders. But you know what's funny? Last year, Ryan Fitzpatrick was shown so much love and so much excitement about coming to Washington. You know, remember Mike Greenberg? Oh, you know, he's been less tragic. You look at his numbers. He's been great and everything else, right? I have to believe that as much as I have given trash talking to Carson Wentz, that he's at least as good as Ryan Fitzpatrick. But it seems like he is really hated there. I'm just an observation from a guy outside the building. You know, again, it's not my problem to deal with. That's the Washington Commanders. But on to our Cowboys. Our season, I believe our defense is going to be best defense we've had in a long time. I think we're going to have the best defense we've had since the 90s. For the first time, you can actually look across the board on every phase of the defense and say, I'm not as worried about stuff. I mean, just a couple of years ago, it used to be our safety play was always terrible. You know, we ended up having Xavier Lays the Wood, who really, I don't know what you want to call him, the last year was here, when he was literally saying that nobody gives 100% on every play. And when you're the safety, you're the last line of defense. You better damn sight be giving 100%, because if you ain't getting it, bro, it ain't getting done. And that showed. We were so desperate for safeties. We talked about going for Earl Thomas and giving up, second round pick. We thought about Jamal Adams, who eventually went for 2 number ones. Thank God we didn't end up getting those guys. But now, going into last year, Donovan Wilson was our guy. He was our number 1 guy. And at this point, he can't crack the starting lineup. With Malik Hooker, with J-Ron Curse, you got Marcus Bell as an undrafted rookie free agent. You got guys in there if somebody gets hurt. Linebacker going into training camp, we looked at it and said, we're kind of thin at linebacker, because we were thinking Jabril Cox wasn't going to be ready to be able to play. Jabril Cox is actually back, and he's looking pretty good. And then, of course, we end up bringing in Anthony Barr, okay? Vander Esch, all of a sudden, looks like now from the neck surgery he had a couple of years ago that he's 100% and maybe ready to go. Anthony Barr, a couple of years ago, was one of the best linebackers out there. And then, of course, you got Micah Parsons. So you look at that and say, yeah, we got a great rotation. And for once, we have big men, a lot of big men, to stop the run. Something we really had. We have had a couple. I mean, we had Jay Rat like 2007 and 8 or so, and we've had Collins there. I think, was it Collins? Malik Collins, there, and a couple of guys, 1 or 2 guys, but never like we do now, where we've got a Tristan Hill and we've got a Quentin Bohannon, a John Ridgway, Neville Gallimore. That's like 4 guys right there that are over 300 pounds on the defensive line. I mean, that's some beef. But we also have guys like Carlos Watkins and Terrell Basham and O.C. that are smaller, lighter, faster guys that can be thrown in there too. You look at our defensive end. So you look at that and say, man, that defense is loaded. We can throw wave after wave at people and wear them out. So you say, okay, the defense is going to be great. But what I believe the season really will hinge on how good we're going to be. I believe that we're going to be a playoff team. I don't know, with the Eagles having so many easier games to start their season, we've got our rougher ones there. It's conceivable that the Eagles could go on a big roll and just not be catchable. That's possible. But I believe that the Cowboys are still a good enough team to make the playoffs, provided injuries don't happen. Injuries can happen to anybody, and if they happen to the wrong people, as we know, it can sideline a season. But what I think this season is going to come down to in the Cowboys is how much Kellen Moore has evolved and grown. Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott have actually done some amazing things numbers-wise since he's been offensive coordinator. It's just sometimes in crunch times that you kind of wonder, is this the guy? And you could see as we faltered going down the stretch of the season, we got less creative. And we didn't use some of the weapons and things that we had to us. I am Mr. 12 personnel, okay? I should just get a jersey made up. In fact, I think I might do it. I'll get me a jersey made in number 12 and put 12 personnel on the back. Or put personnel. That's what it is. I'll put personnel and 12, okay? 12 personnel. That's me. We didn't use that in the playoffs against the 49ers. And we got away from being able to run the football in the second half of the season. If this season is going to be successful, it's going to have to be creativity from Kellen Moore, because we don't have the advantage of just saying we're just better than the other guys and we can just line up and we're just going to take these guys one-on-one. We are going to have to use misdirection. We are going to have to use disguising what we're doing. We are going to have to use pre-snap motion. We are going to have to move the pocket because we've got so many young guys on the offensive line that we can't just say, we're just going to go down the field and have slow developing plays and literally have Dak Prescott as a stationary target right there with a rookie left tackle having to block for him. We're going to have to use tight ends to help chip. We're going to have to use running backs to help block. We're going to have to get creative and disguise things. You know, when you have Zeke Elliott in the backfield there and you've got the pass rusher coming in, that Zeke is going to give him a little chip and then basically let him go and turn around and catch that screen pass and go. This season hedges on how good Kellen Moore can call the game plan. I hope we have the right guy. I think you have enough weapons that you can go. I think you have the quarterback can go. Your offensive line needs to help, and that's where the offensive coordinator comes through, because I really don't want to see my quarterback killed. So we are under 2 days. When I came out here, it was 1 day and like 22 hours until kickoff. It's literally that close. Tomorrow's hump day. Whew. I have been busting a hump getting this place together. They're calling for possibly rain on Sunday morning. I hope it doesn't rain all day. I hope it doesn't rain at all. Because right now, I can feel a crispness in the air. You can feel, it's hot. It was hot today. It was hot and humid. But you can feel a crispness now, crispness now, where there's that little chill. I'm seeing leaves beginning to fall. We got fall colors of plants here, mums. Football is back, baby. And now, all the talk, all the speculation, all the forecasting and stuff that we've been listening to is done. Now, my friends, it's time to go play some football. Whew. Now, you know how I roll. I come out here every night, then I'm home, and I reflect on the day that was. I look at it and say, did I do everything I could do today to be a better person tomorrow? Did I take care of my family? Did I try and do some things to help others? And if I did those things, then I feel good about going to bed and sleeping. And I also like to tell you guys, tell the people you love them. Because life is short and life is precious, and you might not get the chance again. I love you guys. Peace out. And don't forget, tomorrow night, it'll be the NFC East Roundtable. Philly 500, Rio, Cop Pizzle, and myself. See you then. Peace.